Hey guys, and welcome. Sorry, we're having some difficulties. But welcome to the show. We have an exciting one up for you today. Let's meet our contestants. Connor's with us.
Hey, how are you doing, Joker?
Hey. We got Diana.
Hi. How's it going?
And Ruby's running a little late. And we have Alice.
Hello, my loves.
Hello.
Hello.
So what do we have interesting to talk about tonight, guys?
I think we got a lot of interesting topics tonight, guys. UFOs, aliens, Project Blue.
It's gonna be UFO night. It's gonna be UFO night. Yep, that's right. That's right. It's
Alice,
gonna
do you
be
want to start us off?
Oh well, I guess that's gonna be me, huh?
Yeah, things that go bump in the sky.
Things that go bump in the sky. I apologize to anyone who has heard this story, but you guys have heard heard it mentioned here and there that it would eventually be told at length. So here we go. All right. So I'm gonna take you guys back to the summer of 1992. A lot of freaky shit happened to me the summer of 1992. Now that I think about it. Fuck.
It's definitely an interesting year, huh?
I mean, it was a really fucking interesting year. So it was
yeah.
Me and my roommates, my best friend Coop, another friend of ours, and my daughter, who was just a couple months from turning 2 years old. And we went to the beach sort of late in the day, and we were at a beach in Half Moon Bay, which is sort of in between Santa Cruz and San Francisco. And there was this private beach that we used to go to. It was a nudist beach.
Sweet.
So I know it was closed most of the year
Oh, okay.
because
Oh,
it's
oh.
fucking freezing there. You know, the water is not warm there.
Okay.
It's not warm.
Oh,
So
okay.
the beach was closed, and so it was just chain link fence, so we would just like push through the fence and go and spend our day at the beach. And the sun had already gone down, it was fully dark. We were sitting, there's sort of this little cave as it backs up against the cliff, and we're sitting in this cave, sort of around it on the outside. My friend Coop is playing Don't Fear the Reaper on his guitar, singing. And off in the sky, I start to see these two red balls of light doing these amazing movements that are just these impossible, just all over the place movements that I had never seen anything in the sky do before. And one of us, I'm not sure which one, said, you know, are you guys fucking seeing this? And so we were all, you know, honed in on it, focused, and it was moving closer towards us. And as it got closer to us, a really large triangle ship appeared that was lit at all three corners with a red light, and these red balls sort of danced around it. It was almost like it was hypnotizing us in a way, which I think it might have been. My daughter, who, like I said, was almost 2, pretty much never stopped moving, but she was like dead limp in my lap, was not moving, but was watching this. Didn't take her eyes off it. So it moved until it was directly in front of us. It was maybe 100 yards out from the shoreline. It was not far from us at all. We could see every detail. And from the center of the bottom of the triangle came a beam of light that went down into the water. And in the center of this beam of light appeared a spinning disc. And it was like a grayish in color. It was not solid, but it wasn't light either. It was something in between the two. And this went on for what seemed like 10 minutes, maybe. None of us spoke the entire time. We just sat there and watched. And the next thing I know that happened was San Francisco Airport was off to what was our right at the time. And an airplane started coming from the airport. And as you start to see the airplane, all the lights went out. You know, the red balls, the triangle, the beam of light, everything, all the lights went out. But we could still see the ship because it was close enough to us. We could see that it was still there, even though all the lights went out. And we sat and we watched as this airplane passed by, and it got to the other side. And as it got to the other side, everything lit back up again, except this time the beam of light went onto the airplane and it followed the airplane away. And we were like, holy shit, what the fuck was that? And it wasn't until we decided to leave at that point.
Yeah, I guess.
And yeah, that was a good time to head home. And when we got back into the car, I realized that we lost an hour and a half, 2 hours. Were gone. It was far later than it should have been. I used to
Wow.
wear a watch back then. And it right after that, my daughter's hair and nails started growing like crazy. I had just had pictures of her done right before then, and her hair was super short. You know, she looked like a little boy. Pictures of her 2 weeks later, and she looks like a little girl, and her hair's down to here. And I'm having to cut her
Huh.
nails twice a week.
Wow.
And we're seeing the lights all the time. We're seeing them. We had a friend who lived up in the mountains, and we were going up like every week. And every week when we went up there, we're seeing the lights in the sky. The red balls, not the triangle, but we were seeing the red balls.
I've
You
seen
can do a
those.
chart.
And so, fast forward a little bit down the road, maybe a year, I find a lump in my armpit, and I go to my doctor, and she says, well, we'll wait and see a little bit. If nothing changes, we'll biopsy it. Da da da. So I go in, it was about another year later, finally, when I went in for the biopsy, and they had just decided to remove it, which was strange, but I didn't know any of this was strange at the time. You have to keep in mind that at this point, I'm 21 years old, and have very little experience with anything medical. So when I went for that appointment, and the doctor did not have a nurse assistant in the room to remove it, I didn't think that was strange. He removed it. I only got a quick glimpse, and all I could really see was just kind of something metalish that kind of looked like it was surrounded by some fat. That's all I could really see. And I think it was 3 stitches in. I had to come back, and I don't remember, I think it was 2 weeks to have the stitches removed. The day I was due to come back to have those stitches removed, I was called. This was done at county hospital, by the way. I was called from county and said, the doctor's out sick. We need to reschedule your appointment. Now, like I said, this is county. I'm having stitches removed and getting the results of a biopsy to find out if I have cancer. Because at this point, that's what I'm thinking. I have cancer, That's my biggest concern at this point. The doctor's out sick. So they reschedule me for a week later. And I don't remember what it was, but that next week, they rescheduled me again. And during this time, it got infected. It was in my armpit, I have stitches in my armpit that stayed in for like a fucking month,
Yeah.
So I go back in, again, no nurse in the room with the doctor for any of this. The doctor tells me that it was non-organic material.
What does that mean?
That's what I said. And he said it was not of your body. And it's like every answer he gave me was like trying to just be the final answer. But I kept asking questions, and I'm like, well, okay, what does that mean? He said, well, it was some type of metal. And he was like, do you know how you got metal in your armpit? And I was like, if I knew that, like, why the fuck would I be here?
Yeah, right.
Yeah. No, I
Yeah,
don't.
yeah,
I don't know how I got metal in my armpits. And I said, I want it. I want it. And he said, the lab lost it. And he said it quick as that. Not looking at my chart, did miss a fucking beat. The lab lost it.
Yes, yeah.
So and like I said, this is 1992, so I didn't know my rights, didn't know a lot of things. Actually, it was 1994, 95 when I had this removed. But I didn't know, what my rights were. I didn't know how strange it was. I didn't realize how odd all of it was. I hadn't connected this and what happened on the beach that night together. And I still don't know that that's what it was, but I do know that they are involved. I don't know that I got it that night. I know that there's a connection.
yeah,
But and then, recently I found one in my ear and
yeah. Wow.
yeah. So yeah,
And
that was my first
do you
UFO
think
story.
that they have been tracking you all this time?
Yes.
And
My
what do you think the reason is?
Well, personally, for a long time I thought that it was aliens. I even did hypnosis back in 2014. I did 3 different rounds of hypnosis with 2 different hypnotists. One of which was a Dolores Cannon trainee.
Yeah,
Um, and I never felt that the memories that I saw were true. I felt that they were implanted. I felt like they weren't real. I felt like they were put there, like they didn't feel
yeah.
like my own memories. And
Okay.
that was something that always stuck with me. That
And
the
did you?
images that I
Hey,
saw of aliens and the grays and the things like that, and
yeah.
the praying mantis aliens and all of that, that they didn't it didn't seem like a real memory.
I see. And so, what do you think they were doing? If you had to hazard a guess.
Well, considering that the ship that I saw, the ship that
It's a
I
TR3.
experienced was the TR3B, and
Yeah,
is, a government ship, you
yeah,
know. Um, I tend to think that, there's at least some sort of military involvement on some
yeah.
level. Um, I don't know to what degree their involvement is. If the grays exist, are they interdimensional? Are they physical beings?
Yeah, yeah.
You
Are they
know,
something else? Yeah,
right. It depends on so many things, but
yeah.
um, I truly believe that it's more likely that it is a military operation than anything else.
Allegedly. Okay. And do you believe that the reason that they take people is to harvest um, cells from them so that they can clone other people?
Um, I I I think that could be part of it. I also think part of it could be for Project Bluebeam,
Okay.
because you set up all these stories of people who've been abducted, And then
Yeah.
when the time comes and, you know, they kick off Project Bluebeam, then you already have all of these people who, you know, you already have the backstory. You already
Yeah.
have all of the, you know, the people
Yeah.
saying, well, you know, we've been taken all these years, you know,
Yeah.
so.
Were you now? You said you were 21 years old when this happened. So, is it possible they harvested eggs from you,
I was 19 when I was
or 19?
taken. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it's
Is it
absolutely
possible?
possible. Mhm.
Okay.
Absolutely possible. Yeah.
So then that could be as well. They could have taken eggs from you. They could have taken cells from you
Yeah.
for
Mhm.
cloning purposes.
Yeah, and
Also,
I've wondered about
the other
that.
thing,
Yeah.
and the other thing is, question is this now. Now that being said, why would they track you all these years?
Yeah.
That's a question. Why would they track you? I mean, at this point, they could have done whatever they wanted.
Yeah.
I mean, so
Yeah.
why would they track you for like 20 something
And
years?
then find, yeah, and then find the other one in your ear.
Right.
Yeah,
Right.
and then was it always there?
The one in my ear
Yeah,
or the
yeah,
no,
the one in
no.
your
This
ear.
one, the one in my ear has been, I'd say, maybe 10, maybe the last 10, 12 years.
12 years. Okay.
Yeah.
So
It's a newer one. Yeah.
so have you had any lost time since then?
Oh
Since that
God,
experience?
yeah, yeah. And I've had, you know, I had that. I think I told the story here on here of that day that I was packing when I first started really investigating this, and I was like, I think I might still be being abducted. This was um, the end of 2012, early 2013, and I
Okay.
started investigating this and talking to my friend Coop. Um, and we were this is when we were moving from Vancouver, Washington back to Los Angeles, and I was packing one day, and all of a sudden I
Yeah.
got so tired I had to take a nap immediately. I'm not a
Yeah.
nap, you know, I don't sleep easily. This is when I was a severe insomniac, but I had lay
Yeah.
down, immediately went to sleep. I don't
Uh-huh.
remember any of the dream up until I was floating through the wall of my the front of my house, standing
Okay.
straight upright, um, and I'm floating through my living room, and I hit my toe, my pinky toe, on the edge of my coffee table, which is just
Uh-huh.
massive leather, huge coffee table. It's
Same.
massive, weighs a ton, and
Yeah.
through the wall of my kitchen into my bedroom, onto my bed, and I wake up and I broke my toe.
Wow.
That's crazy.
Wow. That's insane.
Wow.
And
And there's no
so
other way of
from that time,
explaining that.
no, you
Yeah.
can't explain that. I mean, that's, the other thing is, um, now that being said, you stated that you think that they implanted memories into your head, okay,
Yep.
so that you believed you
Somebody
were
did.
abducted,
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah, or something.
Well, I know that
Now, what?
I know I've been taken. It's just who I've been taken by is,
Yeah,
you know.
right.
Yeah.
But the thing is this: if they have this technology, where did they get it from?
Right.
Obviously, they didn't have it. That the technology you're describing is quite a bit more advanced than anything we know in current use by our government. So
Yeah.
obviously, it's black projects, and we're talking. This is all alleged, obviously, but black projects, and they got this from somewhere. Okay. And if I had to hazard a guess, I'd say from another universe, another dimension of some sort. that they either got it by agreement, or they took it when ship crashed, or they crashed it and took the technology and reverse engineered it.
Or
But yeah, or
they're interdimensional, and we have this deal with them. This is part of maybe
they can do
they're
whatever they want.
interdimensional, and this
I
part
kind of
of
lean towards that a little bit with your situation,
Yeah,
right.
because
yeah.
just
Like they're allowed to they need, right?
Mhm.
Whoever they need, whatever the
yeah.
situation calls for,
Right.
in return for technology. Yeah, I could see that. Um, yeah, your story
They
is
were just
definitely
like, we need
compelling.
Alice. We need
Yeah.
some Alice in
Ha-
here.
have you considered? Yeah, well, yeah, you need a couple hundred Alice's around. Uh, so
Oh, I'm so
The world
sorry,
could not handle
world.
that.
I'm so sorry, world. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry.
so have you thought about getting the one in your ear removed?
Um, Actually, yes. Yeah. I'm planning to actually, we're gonna do it. We're doing it ourselves because I don't trust
Okay.
any doctor to do this.
Yeah. So you're
Yeah.
just gonna cut it open and take it out?
Yeah, we're ordering the kit. There's
Yeah.
you can order a surgery kit on Amazon.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
Amazon has everything.
I already have
Yeah.
lidocaine and all that stuff. I just need the
Yeah.
scalpel basically. So
Yeah.
I just need
Yeah.
to order the kit just for that. So
Yeah.
once we do that,
Yeah.
don't worry, we're gonna videotape the whole thing. And we
Yeah.
figure if it goes
I'm so
horribly
that.
wrong, then I just go to the emergency room and say, yeah, I was trying to pierce
Yeah.
my ear. I'm really stupid. Yeah.
Yeah. Right. Really stupid, and I screwed it all up. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm an idiot.
Yeah. Yeah. And so yeah, this is very compelling. Your story is compelling. I mean, it's and it's a story that keeps getting repeated. I mean, I've heard the story many times, from
Yeah.
many different people, of things where they either get abducted through something or from something. Now, here's a question: do you believe that your ailments are caused by them,
I've
or by
considered
by
it.
experiencing, say, radiation?
I've considered it. Yeah.
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 Have you ever tried to make that connection with the? Is it a radioactive something that might have caused your illness?
Well, I have illnesses because I have,
Yeah.
multiple, and
Yeah. Obviously.
they're genetic. That's where I wonder
Okay.
if this didn't happen to my dad as well, because he's the one who also
Yeah.
had these issues, and my daughter deals with these things, as like she has sleep paralysis, and
Yeah.
and has dealt with things that would look to people like us like abduction.
I see.
So yeah.
I see. Yeah. Okay. Well, like I said, your story is very compelling, and it's not untold, because it's been told many times by many different people.
Yeah.
As a matter of fact, I just want to bring up the Stardust Ranch. Um, a man moved into a ranch, and he's had nothing but problems since he moved into this ranch. And again, it's in Arizona, so near in Arizona, and that whole area over there is like Alien Central. I
Is there
mean,
gonna be a new country song? And now we call it Stardust Ring.
yeah, maybe it is. Maybe they'll use it for something else. I don't know,
I
but
did not know that song. No.
no, I didn't know it. But it sounds like a good one. Uh, but
Good
anyway,
old
yeah,
country alien boy.
Uh,
from the start of from the start of him moving in, it's just been one problem after another, and the first day he got there, the people were still there. He was told by the realtor to go away for a little bit, come back. All their furniture's gone, so he thought they removed all their furniture. Walked to the back. He noticed that all their furniture is now in the back swimming pool. And he calls the realtor up and says, hey guy, what the crap? They threw all their stuff in the swimming pool. And the realtor says, wait a minute. He said he put him on hold. He called the other people, and he said that the other people said they thought he took their stuff and threw it into the swimming pool.
Oh.
That, because they had come back to get it and it wasn't there. And they saw it all in the swimming pool, and they never bothered to come back to get it. They just,
That
forget
seems
it.
kind of
They
odd right
just left.
there.
Yeah, that was the first. That would have been my first question mark. Why? Why didn't they come back to get their stuff? And then the next question mark is that after like a day or so he's been there, this guy with no shirt on and a machete comes walking up his front walkway, and he said he thought this guy looked like a veteran, like a Vietnam veteran, like somebody who's kind of tough, with I guess tattoos or whatever. But he said he got a gun and put it in the back of his pants because he didn't know what was going to happen. And he went out to talk to this guy, and the guy asked him where the people lived there were and why he was in their house. And he told them, well, I live here now. I bought the place from those people. So, well, I live in the back. And he goes, what do you mean you live in the back? You don't live here anymore. I bought this place. It's mine. And he asked him, why are you here? He goes, I kill monsters. And he said, well, he started thinking, wow, this guy is a nut job. He goes, what kind of monsters? And the guy says, guy, you have aliens. There are aliens all over this place. And he goes, yeah, right, sure. We don't need your services anymore. You can leave now. And the guy starts kind of chuckling under his breath, and he goes, you'll wish I hadn't. Walking away.
fuck.
And he keeps saying, you wish I hadn't. And he left. And right after that, he starts noticing lights in the sky. He starts noticing, shapes, different kinds of ships in the sky. And then he notices a little after that there's one of his horses got mutilated, like a cattle mutilation. And he said he had actually, at that time, they had registered the horses. He used to register them. There used to be a register in Arizona so that you could, identify your animals, in case somebody tried to steal, one of your animals. And he said he went to the register, and the register said basically, we've had these things happen before, not just on this property, but in this whole area, And so his dog was attacked, his horse was mutilated, and then finally, after a while, he had been there in his house. And
And his
trying to take
wife,
his
right?
wife.
His wife. That's
And
the
they were
one.
grays. These were grays. And he said they had bisected eyes like a fly. And he said he defended her, basically, and he killed a couple of them. He had a samurai sword.
Why did they go after his wife?
He doesn't know. He
It's
thinks
fucking
that
weird, like
yeah, he thinks that because maybe she's weaker, or maybe they wanted something from her. He doesn't know.
Right.
He says she's the sweetest woman ever, and there's no reason for them to go after her, but they did. So he killed two of them in his front room, apparently, and buried them. And
Like, why would you just bury them? That's my question. Be like, there's some freaky shit
well,
going
because
on
he did.
over here at my house.
I'll tell you why.
Come.
Well, I'll tell you why. because he was a clinical psychologist
Uh,
with a master's degree,
uh,
and he was
Where's
scared that
the
if he let this get out, they would. There's some people took that
by
picture.
career.
Yeah, his
Yeah,
career would
I
go
guess
down
that
the
makes
tubes.
sense.
So he couldn't. He didn't want to be a part of it. He didn't want to be anywhere near this. But this kept happening, and a crew house that took that picture in the front yard during the day. This is not nighttime. This is daylight. Um,
Oh
and
gosh.
they showed it to him, and he said the one thing he noticed about it was their eyes were bisected. He said that was a still image taken from a video that they were doing.
on this,
So
I guess. Wait, here's
What
the
do
ship.
yeah,
Right?
there's a ship.
what is
There's a ship, and he says that since then he's noticed that every 71 days a portal opens up property, and these things come out of it, either ships or these guys.
That's the thing that trips me the fuck out. Is
Yeah.
every 71 days. Why every
And
71
he says
days?
it's like clockwork. He doesn't know why. He said, but it's every 71 days exactly they come out.
I wonder if
And
like the
he
land.
said,
Oh, go ahead.
Right. No, go ahead, babe.
I was gonna.
he's yeah. Go ahead, please. Go
Oh,
ahead.
I was just wondering if it was the land that like maybe they're drawing, like it's almost like they run out of gas, and they're like they have to come back, to that area, whatever reason it is, like to harness whatever, like just energy or whatever it is that's in that area, like whether
Right,
it's.
but it's every 71 days
I know.
exactly.
Yeah.
So that's a hard theory to stick with.
Yeah.
If it wasn't every 71 days exactly, I could, but that sounds
Yeah,
something
that's
more
really weird.
like there needs to be some sort of alignment or something has to,
Yeah.
And he says the portal opens and they come out.
things have to line up, and you
Yeah.
know what I mean. That's
Yeah.
Anyways,
Go
he
ahead.
was interviewed by a lady who's psychic, and she said that there was a vortex in the middle of his living room, and he said that while he was filming one night, they said that two grays walked out of this vortex behind him, and he didn't see them. He had his back to them because they were doing a radio show, and I think it was his brother said, "Hey, there's two grays behind you." He goes, "What?" He turns around and they walk back into this portal and disappear. The vortex is dead center of his living room.
I'd have a video camera running on that fucking thing 24/7, man. That's all I'm saying. Fuck. But that's just me. That's just
I
me.
know. I had a video camera in the back too on that vortex in the back.
My house would be covered with video cameras all the time.
Yeah, but I think the problem is, he doesn't. He started out not wanting to acknowledge it. Basically, he didn't want to be a part of it. Because he was scared. The minute they hear aliens, he's going to lose his, all credibility, and he won't be able to work anymore. He wasn't going to do this interview with this lady. And this guy from Hawaii kept contacting him, and every day, talking to him about it 2-3 times a day. And finally, he got him to agree to have this interview with this lady. And he went into talking about it. And I mean, all kinds of freaky crap was happening. I mean, this wasn't the first that he killed. I mean, he had killed more than 2. He said he was always in combat with them. They kept coming after his wife. And his wife had actually been in the FBI, but she had, once he got married to her, she quit the FBI and went into clinical psychology with him. I guess uh, because that was her specialty, clinical psychology. So she may have been a profiler, but he didn't say that. But obviously,
Profiling is wrong.
yeah. Well, but that may have been profiling serial killers or
Right.
something like that.
Yeah.
So the bottom line is they keep coming after her, and he's been defending her for a while now. He says he can't just pick up and move because he put all his money into this ranch, and he takes care of mistreated animals, mistreated horses, whatever, you know, he takes care of them, farm animals. But I think it's mainly horses, But he said he had a dog there that was mistreated, and he took it in. It'd been his life's, I guess, is what he wanted to do since he was a little kid, is take care of horses, And he says that it's just been nothing but one problem after another, continuously. So he said finally, he wants to go ahead and document this stuff so that he could prove it, It's not just him saying it, but that he can actually, have video proof and people and who have actually seen it with their own eyes. It's not just something that he's saying, that
See, that's
he's causing.
that's the thing that I have the issue with is all these years, why do we have so little evidence of aliens? Why do we have so little video of aliens, man? I mean, we have the worst, I'm just saying.
Well, I'll tell you what.
Come on.
Here's the same. Here's. I'll give you, for instance, of why this could happen. In California, there was a community. Okay, I'm not going to say what kind of community. I'm just a generic community. But these people saw that their next door neighbor, their next door neighbors were doing some pretty shady crap, they were they were doing some terrorist stuff, they were bringing in stuff, they were doing stuff, but they never reported them, because they didn't want to look like they were racist. And so they never reported them, and these two people went on to be terrorists. And when asked why they didn't say anything, they said, "Well, we didn't want to look like we were racist. We didn't want to be, ostracized from the community." So now, let's flash forward to aliens. Why is there so little said or whatever about aliens? Well, the problem is if you say something about it, people ostracize you. They immediately, call you a conspiracy nut, you're one of those.
That wasn't my question though. My question is, why do we have so little photographic evidence of aliens?
And the reason is because they don't want to take the photographs, because they don't want to show the photographs to people, because they're afraid they're going to be ostracized. I'm sure that there's plenty of photography out there. There's plenty of video, but people are just now getting to the point where they can share it on a regular basis, and there's actually pretty stand-up websites on YouTube, channels that actually show the evidence, that these people are collecting, and it's coming out slowly but surely. But it took years before people could even accept it, because most people would just, dismiss you out of hand. Basically, the minute you mention the word alien, forget about it. It doesn't matter what you have.
Trust me, I know.
Videos,
yeah.
pictures,
Listen,
whatever.
I've had a story since 1992 that
Yeah.
I've been very
and
careful on
that's the
who I've told
problem.
it to and who I've not told it to.
Right.
You know, so I know,
Right. Yeah, you don't
but
want to be ostracized, and
yeah.
it's hard, but
But
nowadays
is it
people,
also, could it also be that they make it so that we can't? I mean,
yeah, well,
look
they're
at
making it.
that. That one video that we have
It
of
could
that
be.
woman disappearing out of her bed, like that's a rarity to get something like that. Like so many people try and they end up
Yeah.
with a static, or their computers end up shutting down in the middle of the night, or they
Right.
try to get evidence of being abducted, and they
Yeah.
get every sort of technical issue you could possibly think of other than actual
Yeah.
video.
Yeah. I
Speaking of
think you're
which,
right. And
I should show that video now that I've
yeah.
mentioned it, because it's
Yeah.
phenomenal video.
Yeah.
And
Sure.
let me do that real quick. If you guys have not seen this, it's a really interesting video. Yes, I would like to screen share. Thank
Beautiful,
you very much.
Beautiful Awakening did say maybe because aliens are on a different frequency that isn't in our dimension, and only some of us can see them, and they won't show up on video.
Yeah, that's
It's possible.
yeah, that is a very strong possibility, actually. Okay, so this video this was a couple who the wife was supposedly being abducted, and so they set up CCTV in their bedroom, and for weeks and weeks nothing happened, and then
Yeah.
one night this happened. So this is her here on this side, and her husband is sleeping here.
Oh, and watch the time on the
And
thing.
she's gone. Yeah, now watch the
Yep.
time. Pay attention to the time now. They speed it up,
Because
to
it looks.
show,
Yeah.
how much time passes for how long she's gone.
So does her husband not move this whole time?
You'll see her returning actually disturbs him, and
Yeah.
you'll see.
Yeah.
And
There she is. And he's that disturbed him, and
Turned
he
over.
rolls over, and yeah.
And that's her.
So yeah.
Yeah. So she was gone for a good how long?
about 12 minutes, something like that.
Yeah, it wasn't very long, but
The point is she disappeared.
Michelle in the chat says he's controlled too, which could be possible. Controlled to not
Yeah.
notice.
Right,
him stay asleep.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's generally thought in these cases, and my husband and I had talked about that many times, is that if they're if I'm being taken, like, and he's sleeping right next to me, like, what's happening to him, like, or the dogs, like,
Right.
and
But
I said
Yeah.
they must be, putting you guys in some sort of, suspended animation or something because,
Yeah.
you guys are not affected.
So I wanted to
Yeah.
bring up really quick because I heard you talking with your story about the orange balls of light in the sky.
Red, yes.
Red, yours is red. Okay, so
They're red, yeah.
I have lived in Washington, right outside of Seattle, and not every night, but I would say at least like 3 or 4 times a week, there would be these lights in the sky. They are not planes. They are not
Right.
planes. There's a difference. I know the
Yeah.
difference whenever they were
Yeah.
coming into to land in Seattle. But these just stay in certain places, just right on the horizon. And they're not Chinese lanterns, but that's kind of what it reminds me of.
Right.
And
Yeah.
they hover. And then they flicker out, and then they come back on. And then they flicker out, and then they come back on. And I'm like, what the heck is that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was wondering if anyone has seen anything like that. Because
Yeah.
I've always brought it up to people about it. I'm like, hey, have you ever noticed those lights in the sky? I'm trying not to be that crazy lady, but have you seen those?
Have you looked for video on YouTube of similar?
I have looked, and then I've looked on, what is it, MoveOn? Or like different,
Yeah.
Website.
all that.
Move on.
I
Yeah.
cannot find, like there's
Government's
similar
favorite
things,
UFO agency.
and it was like really far. It's like always on the horizon, not like above me, not
Right. Right.
it was always on the horizon, like over near the Cascade Mountains,
Right.
Yeah.
like right above the mountains.
Right.
So, and like above Mount Rainier, which Mount Rainier is close to the airport, but
There's, you know what though?
yeah,
Like all three of those mountains have such strange activity.
yeah,
I mean
yeah.
Shasta,
Well, and I live right next to that. I can't
Rainier.
even Mount Baker too, and
Yeah.
I always saw weird stuff up there too.
Yeah, there's so much weird stuff around, all around up there. I mean, when we lived up there for a year, I saw strange lights so many times. So many times. I don't know how my husband
Yeah,
has never seen anything because I have seen strange lights so many times.
yeah.
Yeah.
I always point them out whenever I can, or
Yeah.
whenever I was up there. I'd always point them out and be like, "Hey."
Yeah.
And I tried to find, like, I really did try to find what they were.
Well,
Nothing.
in the 1940s, our guys used to fly bombing missions at night because they couldn't fly during the day. They'd get attacked by the Stuka bombers and or Stuka fighters. So they encountered what they called Foo Fighters, and these
Right.
Foo Fighters were round balls of light
Balls. Yep.
all around them,
Yeah.
above them, below them, and it would zoom past them at incredible speeds. And the guys nicknamed them Foo Fighters,
Yeah.
but it sounds very similar to what you're talking about,
Yeah.
Yeah.
these Foo
I hadn't
Fighters,
thought about
these
that.
balls of light.
Yeah, I hadn't thought about that actually.
Wait, what was it?
Foo Fighter, FOO,
Okay.
fighter.
Oh,
I mean, just like
Like the band?
like the
Yeah,
band.
like the band.
That's where they got their band name. That's where they got their band name.
15 for this.
And they were lights.
I don't know. I mean,
all around them, and these lights would follow them in and follow them out, and I don't know if they ever attacked the bombers, but I do know that they flew next to them,
Right.
close enough for them to see them,
I just was always,
And-
I was like, well, if it was a plane, you would, and if it's a clear night, like you can see, but they would flicker, and it was like, well, why would they flicker off
Well,
and on? And like,
it
I got
could be.
pictures.
Yeah. You got pictures?
Well, not
Oh.
not now. That
Oh,
phone
okay.
got messed up.
Oh, all right.
But I was going to the grocery store, and that was the first time I'd seen it. And they were in they were in formation, kind of like
Yeah.
the lights in Phoenix or whatever. It was kind of
Yeah.
like that. And I was like,
Yeah.
I just chalked it up to, like they were doing, um, they were just testing something. But then whenever
Yeah.
I started noticing, like after that, and that was in like I don't know, like 2011. Um, but after I started noticing it, or whenever that night happened,
Yeah.
I started noticing it more and more and more and more. And I was like,
Yeah.
that is so weird.
Yeah.
And it
It's
freaked me
possible
out.
that the lights could be a a some sort of a cloaking device that cloaks a small ship, and that you see it as a light, but it's actually their cloaking device that makes it so you can't really see them. You only see their light. It could be
Yeah.
that. That's just just
That
a theory.
that ties in with what I was just gonna say about their hologram abilities, and um the holograms in the sky, and
Yeah.
what we have seen, with cities in the sky and things like that. Like, how do we know that how
Planet
do we know
spinning.
that how do we know that all of these ships aren't holograms?
We don't.
We don't. And
Yeah.
some of the things that we've seen with the holographic technology has been pretty phenomenal, and that's just
Yeah.
what they're showing us now. And we know that
You mean with a
means
whale?
that they're,
Getting ready to use
way
it.
far ahead, and
Yeah.
if you don't know Project Bluebeam, um, you know, anyone here want to do a brief
Yeah, I can. Sure.
synopsis,
Project Bluebeam.
breakdown on what Bluebeam is?
Absolutely. Yeah, Project Bluebeam is a project that they created so that they could um, give them the ability to project solid images, holograms in the sky. Basically, the idea is that they were going to use this technology to. It started out as a weapon of war. They were going to use it to freak out by creating all kinds of, airplanes, jets, whatever, or anything else they really wanted in the sky. They could actually project that thing there, and it would look 3 dimensional. And later, it was given the conspiracy community realized that this could be used to, you know, uh, pretend that there's a alien invasion force coming in to take over, and so everybody would be much more, likely to band together, all the nations of the world, fight against this one thing. This is what Ronald Reagan actually said back in the 80s, that,
Yeah.
we would be way quicker to put down our weapons and join forces if there was an alien coming from outside our world.
Yep.
And so it's very possible that this is one of the plans or possibilities, you know,
Well,
that they could use to create the New World Order, or to at least get it off the ground, allegedly.
yeah. Well, they said that each country would have their own god projected, um,
Right. In the sky.
right to
Yeah.
And then, you know, and then things would go icky, you know. First it
Yeah.
would be all, ooh, yay, the
Yeah.
the second
Everybody
coming,
returned.
and yeah, and then the what is it when they take the people, God takes the people up? What do you guys call that again?
Rapture.
Yeah, the rapture happens. And then that's when the bad shit starts.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Welcome to the New World Order.
Yeah.
Allegedly.
NWO.
NWO.
NWO. Yeah.
Whoop.
Yeah.
Are we gonna see Hollywood Hogan?
You can't
Like,
see me, but I'm
but-
doing the X right now.
But you have to wonder is
I'm doing the X.
you know, these cities in the sky, these
Yeah.
projections that we've seen, are
Our
these
Are.
tests?
blue beam.
You know, are these?
Yeah.
Is that what these are? Because what else could they be? You know,
Yeah. It's
and they
very
always
possible.
seem to be in places where people aren't likely to have a lot of cell phones to be able to capture.
True.
Pardon me, to be able to capture to get it on video, or you know, get a lot of pictures, you know, like
Wow.
the one that was in it was somewhere in
Shanghai?
Africa, you know. They
Yeah.
didn't even there's not even any video or photographs because no one there had
Yeah.
anything to be able to capture it with, you know, because
Yeah.
it's
They could do
in
a
the
quick portrait, but
technology.
that's about it.
So of course that's where you're gonna practice, you know, do practice run of these
Sure.
things, you know.
But the other things have been projected in the sky recently. They saw that there was a planet spinning in the sky.
Yeah.
I saw that. I also saw what looked to be some sort of huge alien, like with tentacles in the sky.
Yep.
That was
Yep.
on
Saw
YouTube.
that one.
Oh,
Yep.
yeah,
Saw that
And
one. Yeah.
yeah, then there
Yeah, I
was
saw that one.
I saw in Shanghai. They showed a was it Shanghai? Well, anyway, one of the towns in China, they showed a demonstration of holographic technology on this, and all these giants would be popping up out of the water,
Oh
and
yeah.
they were fighting
Yeah.
each other.
Oh yeah, I saw that.
Yeah,
Yeah. Oh yeah, that's
yeah,
what.
and
That was so
the
unsettling.
wizard
That was
popped up.
so unsettling to watch. It
Yeah,
really
yeah,
was. Yeah.
yeah. He would disappear, and another person would appear, and they had people dancing. They had people, a
And
dragon.
isn't that,
I mean,
where like
Yeah,
that
everyone's
city
like,
popped up?
"Woo!"
yeah, clapping and stuff. Yeah, when you were standing there watching, and
Yeah.
it was like off in the distance,
Yeah.
and you realize, if they can do that, and I saw a video of a whale jumping out of a gym floor, the
Oh yeah.
in a school into the gym floor. Okay,
Yeah.
so if they could do that, then they could pretty much project anything, anywhere, and it would pretty much look real.
Right.
You couldn't tell it wasn't,
Right.
unless you got close enough to touch it.
Right.
And then, there's one more thing I wanted to tell you. I wanted to add this in there. They have created now force. I don't know if it's magnetic or something, but they've made it now so that holograms can be touched. They actually made it. I saw it on YouTube.
Yeah.
The holograms could be touched.
Yeah, that's what the ISS
Some sort of magnetic.
The ISS uses that for some of their fucking to lie to people. Yeah. NASA's big on that. Yeah,
So,
you can look that up with NASA and some of their lies. Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah. Well, they had in this zoo, they had this one room where the kids could go in, and these animals would appear these animals could actually, you could actually touch them. You know, they would appear.
Oh yeah, I saw that.
You could actually touch them, and it was wild. You know, so if they can do that, then to project something and make you believe it. You know, if you could touch it, then it's real, right?
Right.
Or so people who didn't know better
You
would
can see it,
think.
it's real. If you can
Yeah,
touch
you
it,
could
it's
touch it.
real. I mean, it's
Yeah,
got to be real, right? I
right.
mean,
You know, and that's the problem
fuck's sake.
because they catch a bunch of people who are not too sharp,
Fuck's sake. Yeah. I mean,
which unfortunately
I mean,
is a
say
large.
say they do get, they do get the return of whatever god each country has, and then they have
Yeah,
a fake alien invasion and say, oh well, you all have to depend on this one god. It can't
hmm
be,
yeah,
you guys can't
no,
choose. It can't be, got to be this one god, whichever one they're going
yeah,
to decide on. It's got to be this
right,
god, and that's the only thing we can do to fight against this
yeah,
alien invasion. Um,
yep,
because we're pretty fucked. Um,
yeah,
and look at all
and
these ships that are coming, you
we need our.
guys.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
you better repent now and do what
yeah,
this God here tells you to do.
And then that's what they get. That's how they get behind the whole new world, one world order thing.
World order, welcome to the.
We all came together.
yeah. Well,
Yeah,
everyone would be begging for it at that point.
yeah. I
They're
mean,
like, we're being invaded by alien ships from another planet.
yeah,
Fuck,
yeah. What do we do? What do we do?
Yeah.
And there it is. Well, what you do is you bow down and go ahead and do what this God here tells you to do.
Yep.
This God tells you to go ahead and give up all your weapons and you know
This
here
subject is so
report
deep because
Yep.
it's hard. I
report.
tried today.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
What'd you say?
It's
I
so
was saying
deep.
I tried today to like stick to one topic and be like, all right, I'm gonna learn more about this.
Oh,
And then
right.
I would watch I would like watch a YouTube video, or I'd look at something, and then
Get
it would take
lost.
me
Yeah.
like
The
to something
rabbit
completely
holes.
different.
Yeah.
And I'm like, ooh, that's interesting. And like hour and a half, 2 hours later, I'm like, what did I just do with my life?
Yeah.
Ooh, that
Man,
was a
that's
mistake.
hard.
Yeah.
Welcome
That
to
was a
my fucking
mistake.
life, man.
That's what I
Shit.
do all the time.
That's what I do all day, every day.
Yeah.
I do
That's
it, but
why
with this topic, I
that's
had a
why
hard
sometimes
time.
it's a difficult one because it takes you down a lot of different roads. So yeah,
And
I'm
and the thing
sorry
is,
because I kind of sent you there.
yeah,
Yeah,
this whole thing
kinda.
is been a setup for a
Sorry.
while though.
Well, I've heard it. Like
This has
I,
been planned for I don't know how many years. This has
Right.
been
yeah.
planned, and you know they're gonna fire it off. They're gonna set it up so that we believe that these aliens are coming. And it could all be a Project Bluebeam. Just a projection. And I have one more historical fact to add. Um, during the Cuban Missile Crisis, actually right before then, the Bay of Pigs incident, they were
Uh,
going to project a. They had the ability at that time to project a hologram in the sky.
the fuck, man.
Yeah, and the guy
The
said
fuck.
the CIA guy said that they could have done that, but it was called off at the last minute, and they thought it was better just to let the guys get caught on the beach, basically, you know, than to go ahead and with their goal of projecting God in the sky. Christ in the sky.
Right. So
They were going to do it.
We should believe now that that's not what they're gonna do now.
But if they had that ability in 1960, whatever, to do that, how much more of an ability do they have today? You know what I mean?
Right.
How much further is the technology along? I mean, we've seen evidence of little things like, whales jumping out of a floor or, animals walking right by you. Or for that matter, rock stars that are dead on stage,
Right.
And so, if that's possible, then pretty much they can do whatever they want.
Right.
They can show you whatever you want and make you believe it.
Right.
Under the right circumstances, you wouldn't know the difference. I'll tell you what it reminds me of. It reminds me a whole lot of people in the Middle Ages seeing things and not knowing what they're looking at and thinking it was a demon. It was, and it could have been something from another dimension, but they wouldn't have known it.
Right.
So as they're looking at this and going, a demon. He obviously is a demon.
Right.
So now we're kind of that dumb guy standing there, some dumb guy walking up the street, and all of a sudden you look up in the sky and
everything's
there
either
are
an angel
100
or a demon
spaceships
to us. Yeah.
There's 100 spaceships sitting there, and you're going, holy crap.
Yeah.
Beautiful Awakening in the chat made an interesting point. What if they're not aliens? What if they're just humans from the future who are wearing like weird ass helmets?
Yeah,
Could be.
That's one that me and my friend Coop talked about quite a lot. Is what if they were time travelers?
Yeah.
But it seems like if that was the case, then do some of the, because people who've been abducted remember and have physical evidence of like medical procedures being done to them and stuff, like violating things, so why would they do that without an explanation? You know what I mean? I don't know.
Unless they're doing something they are thinking is going to help or preparing us for when we're doomed. I don't know.
Or maybe they just needed to repopulate the species after some big thing happened. Maybe that's why they're taking eggs.
Then just fucking ask a bitch. Fuck. Fucking.
Well, the problem is, if it's, say, 1,000 years in the future, it could be that they look at us like freaking, like cave people, basically. They look at us like we look at like medieval people, like holy crap,
Right. But we're not. So come on, let's be realistic. I mean, we're not, banging rocks together.
Right.
No, we're not banging rocks, but we are a pretty violent species.
We are, but it's still,
I mean, a guy with a samurai sword's taking him out from his house.
Because we all need a samurai sword. I mean, seriously.
Exactly.
I think
everybody
I need
needs one.
Yeah.
I'm thinking I need one.
It's gonna be on my Christmas list.
Yep. Extra sharp samurai sword.
Get your samurai swords, guys.
Yeah. In case you get attacked. Take them out.
Yeah.
Good for slicing little grays in half.
So we're kind of coming to the end of the show. Did anyone have any questions? It's in the chat.
We've had a lot of chatter in the chat.
I know I've been seeing it going back and forth.
I think it was GPK that said. I think it was GPK that said there's the theory that we are on a ship. Like this isn't a planet or whatever or Earth at all. We're on a ship.
Yeah.
And then Boom Boom made a reference to the Orville, that show I like to watch. And there's actually an episode where they find like this ship just coasting through space, and they go on there, and these people basically are living on like this, like there's a city and countryside, and like it's like I guess a planet or whatever inside the ship, and they have no idea that they're on a ship.
What show is it?
Yeah.
The Orville.
The Orville?
Yeah, it was made by Seth MacFarlane. I know you don't like him, but he's got a lot of.
I have. Oh, come on! You say like. I know you don't like him. Like I have to know. Like it's.
You hate him.
Only because he's a fucking Luciferian. I mean, it's
Yeah,
only because he, worships Satan and like.
Satan.
I'm sorry.
And all his infernal angels.
It's fine.
Allegedly.
But,
I mean.
It does have a lot of references like that. Like it has that.
Yeah.
There's like even an episode where like they deal with dark matter. It's weird.
Well, yeah, because he's fucking got inside track, of course.
He's got inside stuff.
See, there you go. That explains it. He knows all about it.
There's
All right.
so many more. There's so many more. Like just even cartoons or just shows that bring this stuff up that you're like.
Yeah.
Whoa, what is
'Cause
my kid watching?
They're trying
What
to,
am I watching?
They're trying to prepare. Yeah, it's predictive programming. They're preparing.
Because I'm like, it's out of nowhere, that they start talking about it.
They are
And you're like,
preparing everyone for what's coming.
Of course. They're getting everybody ready,
Pay attention. That is what's coming.
Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
for
Well,
real.
Another question is, how do we know that what we're seeing isn't a hologram? How do we know that we don't live in a hologram at this point? I mean, there have been some pretty amazing things seen in the sky recently.
Yeah.
Sun has been flickering. It's been flashing. They've seen a red sun. They've seen a black sun.
Right.
What?
They've seen,
I haven't seen that. Oh.
They've seen when it was a black sun, the light didn't diminish any, but it was a black sun. And then they saw during midday one day, the light went down so low that they started calling the authorities, saying, "What the crap? What's going on here? It's midday, but it looks like night. What's happening? And they're saying, well, there was some dust from the Sahara that came over, and
dust from the Sahara. I love. They are so cute sometimes. One little,
what's your story?
You just scratch them on the head sometimes. Just cute. You're just adorable.
Some dust from the Sahara. That's what was said in Europe. That's what happened. It went dark one day, midday.
Air that happened and.
It's just it's all cloud. It's a cloud. It's just the cloud. Relax.
Wow.
It's nothing. Calm down. Yeah, I actually posted a video. If you want to, if anybody wants to see that video of these to the sun, you can. There's a post. I made a post about it. I can pull up the video, and if anybody wants to.
Maybe you can put it in the chat after we're done.
Yeah.
So then everyone can see it. Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah, sure. I can put it in the chat after.
Beautiful Awakening said, she said the interesting thing, and now I'll go find, her closing thoughts. I don't think we should hear everything we don't understand, which I think pretty much embodies everything that we're trying to do with this channel. Really.
Yeah, totally. Yeah.
I agree.
I don't. My whole experience and, knowing that it's probably most likely pretty much something that is still happening to me is not something that I'm afraid of. Doesn't freak me out.
Yeah.
Like, I don't.
We just want to understand it.
I do not lose any sleep over it at all. You know,
No.
I just want to understand
Why
it.
bother?
You know, like I just want to know what it is. I just want to know
Yeah.
who and why, and
Yeah.
yeah.
Well, it's not even who and the why, but is it actually happening?
Right.
Well, yeah,
Prove
that's
it.
And
So
plus,
that
yeah,
like, they want us to be afraid, and that's not going to happen.
yeah,
right,
Yeah.
their own validation.
right,
Of being able to validate your experience and saying, look, I
right,
had this experience, and here's
right,
validation.
right,
Right.
I'm not imagining
right,
it.
right. I mean,
Because
yeah, I
it's
know.
hard. When you can't prove it.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, I mean, it sucks that I have something come out of my back and it disintegrates when it touches air. I have
Yeah.
something
Yeah.
taken out of my armpit and the lab loses it. But this time I have something in my ear that no one's getting their hands on but me.
Yeah.
So,
Right.
Well, but you know what'll happen? I mean, I hate to say this, but other people have had this experience, and what's happened is two guys show up, in a nondescript car, and they ask questions about it,
yeah.
and they take it from you, say they're from the government, not from the government.
Oh,
They're
yeah. I know.
men in
I,
black,
I know about those people. I know about those guys.
yeah,
I know about those
yeah,
guys. Yeah.
yeah, those guys,
I
Those
know about
guys.
those
those guys,
guys. I know about
yeah,
those
those
Well, we
guys.
guys.
got like 4 minutes, guys. Anybody got any closing statements? Connor, your closing statement?
Yeah. Yeah, do your research, everything. Don't just take our word for it. Go out there and look it up for yourself. And, you know, remember, follow the truth wherever it leads you. And we love you all for tuning in.
All
Diana?
right, I'll say mine. I just want to give a shout out to, I believe it was Robin,
It
who
Yes.
said that
was.
Yes.
she used my words and made someone else's day. So shout out to Robin,
Yeah, that was
and
Yay.
that was
awesome.
super awesome. And it
Yeah.
really made me feel good that it made you feel good. Like that's awesome.
Yeah.
So I wanted to say that and just say, I love y'all. I like the chat's awesome. And if you guys have anything you guys want to talk to us about, email us. Um, yeah, pay it forward.
Yep.
I'll catch you guys on the flip side.
Alice?
I have nothing to say. Yeah, right.
Good night, everybody.
Yeah.
um, first of all, if you have any questions about any of the stories that I shared, feel free to email me. My
Same
info is
with me.
always down in the description. I will be more than happy to share additional stuffs, additional detail stuffs that I did not put in. Um, and there was one other thing I wanted to say. Oh yeah, you guys are fucking awesome. You chatters are fucking awesome. So awesome. I love you guys. Sorry I
We
didn't
love
get
you
to.
guys.
I was talking a lot tonight, but I love you, and just keep being awesome. Keep being awesome to each other. Keep being awesome to yourselves, and hopefully we will see you in a couple days.
Yeah.
Yep.
Joker, last words?
And we love you all, really. Like
Oh, and
just the same
Bex
thing I
is
usually
sorry
go
she
over.
couldn't make it. Yeah.
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 Well, I was gonna say like she is having some kind of issues, so if everybody would like to send some kind of positive energy her way,
Yeah,
help
send
her out a little
love
bit,
and
guys.
positive energy to
Uh,
Bex.
Send love and positivity.
Yeah.
But just same thing. We love you all. You are all beautiful people, and you are capable of doing anything you put your minds to.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
Keep researching.
I agree. Thank you.
Everything.
Thanks for
And
watching.
research everything.
Yes. Question
Yes.
everything.
That's it.
But
Thanks,
we love you
guys.
all
Love you.
here with us. Like us, thumbs up, all that good junk.
Yes, yes.
Mwah.
Good night, everybody.
Night, everybody.
Night, night.